Welcome to CodeHub India. CodeHub India is an authorized testing center and online examination center for the global certification of Microsoft Office Specialist, which is abbreviated as MOS. Microsoft Technology Associate, which is abbreviated as MTA. Global Certification for Adobe Flash. Global Certification for Adobe Photoshop. Global Certification for Adobe Dreamweaver. Global Certification for Adobe Illustrator. Global Certification for Adobe After Effects. Global Certification for Autodesk AutoCAD. Global Certification for Autodesk AutoCAD Mechanical. Global Certification for Autodesk AutoCAD Electrical. Global Certification for Autodesk Inventor. Global Certification for Autodesk Maya. Global Certification for Autodesk 3D Max. To buy exam voucher in a group of 25 students at cheapest rate. Please register at www.codehubindia.com/buy.aspx, where total tutorial is almost free with discounts. Examination voucher 50% discounts. Purpose of this proposed bootcamp. This video illustrate the proposal to host bootcamp at the college premises or CodeHub India place to host bootcamp. Minimum requisite numbers of student is 25. Purpose of the bootcamp to impart the knowledge to the students in piecemeal wise to complete the course content of the global certification of Microsoft, Adobe and Autodesk. So go through the contents of the bootcamp. Book the bootcamp registration from your colleges/schools/group of students. If you're willing to spend a few money, we'd strongly recommend you buy this bootcamp of CodeHub India, jumping into C++, which will take you from absolutely nothing to getting a full working environment, all the core C++ syntax. Lots of tips on how to design your programs. Sample code. Practice problems. Quizzes and advanced C++ class design stuff too. C is a programming language originally developed for developing the Unix operating system. It is a low-level and powerful language, but it lacks many modern and useful constructs. C++ is a newer language, based on C, that adds many more modern programming language features that make it easier to program than C. Basically, C++ maintains all aspects of the C language, while providing new features to programmers that make it easier to write useful and sophisticated programs. For example, C++ makes it easier to manage memory and adds several features to allow object-oriented programming and generic programming. Basically, it makes it easier for programmers to stop thinking about the nitty-gritty details of how the machine works and think about the problems they are trying to solve. So, what is C++ used for? C++ is a powerful general-purpose programming language. It can be used to create small programs or large applications. It can be used to make CGI scripts or console-only DOS programs. C++ allows you to create programs. Arnstrup has put together a partial list of applications written in C++. C++ object model focuses on the underlying mechanisms that support object-oriented programming within C++. That is constructor semantics, temporary generation, support for encapsulation, inheritance, and the virtuals, virtual functions and virtual inheritance. This CodeHub India Bootcamp WLL shows how you're understanding the underlying implementation models that you can help you code more efficiently and with greater confidence. Myths about the overhead and complexity associated with C++. while pointing out areas in which costs and trade-offs, sometimes hidden, do exist. This tutorial will then explains how the various implementation models arose, points out areas in which they are likely to evolve, and why they are what they are. This OOT Camp tutorial will covers the semantic implications of the C++ object model, and how that model affects your programs. Inheritance is an important feature of classes. In fact, it is integral to the idea of object-oriented programming. Inheritance allows you to create a hierarchy of classes, with various classes of more specific natures inheriting the general aspects of more generalized classes. In this way, it is possible to structure a program starting with abstract ideas that are then implemented by specific classes. Inheritance offers many useful features to programmers. For example, a variable of a more general class to function as any of the more specific classes which inherit from it. Called polymorphism. For now, we will concentrate on the basic syntax of inheritance. Polymorphism will be covered in its own tutorial. Many programmers, in particular aspiring game developers, despite endless advice to the contrary, learn C++. There seems to be a widespread belief that all commercial games are written in C++, along with an idea that it is the only real programming language. Apparently they missed the earlier, identical memo about C. It is as powerful and flexible as you typically need, and for its intended purpose as a systems language, it does very well. But C++ is a painful language to use, with myriad design flaws, all plastered over by the slow creep of feature bloat. With RAII, we create an object, sometimes known as a handle, to manage the lifetime of some resource, a file, socket, block of memory. The object is designed so that the resource is allocated and / or initialized in the object's constructor, and destroyed in the object's destructor. A C++ program can call on a large number of functions from this conforming implementation of the standard C++ library. These functions perform essential services such as input and output and provide efficient implementations of frequently used operations. All C++ library entities are declared or defined in one or more standard headers. This implementation includes two additional headers, #_map and #_set, that are not required by the C++ standard. For a complete list of headers that this implementation supports, see C++ standard library header files. The C++ library headers have two broader subdivisions: IAStreams conventions, standard template library conventions. This section contains the following sections: using C++ library headers, C++ library conventions, IAStreams conventions, C++ program startup and termination safe libraries, C++ standard library checked iterators, debug iterator support, standard template library, thread safety in the C++ standard libraries, text namespace, regular expressions, C++. Now it is your privilege to join Bootcamp of CodeHub India to learn C++ Spinner with GRU of student from your college school. Bootcamp is a group training program. Sessions will include as explained. CodeHub India to learn C++ Spinner Bootcamp is for students of schools/colleges. You don't have to be in great shape of your professional career to join Bootcamp, but you do need to bring a great attitude, and a willingness to stay motivated to try your best. Thanks you.